1967 was a vibrant time inside Black neighborhoods across the country, including California.
Say it loud!
The West Coast was also very active and very into the culture of the time in the 60s, and with the coming out with new types of music and new types of dress.
Chunell Price was a 17-year-old San Diego State University student at the time who had grown up in Southeast San Diego.
It was a very upbeat, robust society in the Black community.
Former San Diego police officer Terry Morse recalls the city as both a military town and a happy-go-lucky place with aspirations.
He wanted to have the fancy marinas, and he wanted to have the fancy places to go eat, and he wanted to have Hollywood stars vacationing in San Diego. They were kind of a wannabe LA.
But like most other cities across the country, communities were segregated along racial lines.
Most people outside of the Black community here in San Diego did not want any interaction with the people in the inner cities, the people in Southeast San Diego, the people in Logan Heights.
If a minority strayed past the understood geographic boundaries, he says there were consequences.
You were stopped by the police, harassed by the police, etc. Get out of here, go back where you came from, etc.
Inside the community, Price describes interactions between police and Blacks as fraught.
If we were accosted by the San Diego Police Department for whatever reason, pick one, we are usually taken down by Father Joe's at the lumber yards, and we were brutalized. We were beaten or talked down to or cussed out.
Former San Diego Police Lieutenant Richard Bennett was a rookie officer then. He says distrust flowed both ways.
At night, we'd pull a car over that had windows that were tinted so darkly we couldn't even see who was inside. And we often wondered, if there were going to be guns pointed at us.
Bennett believes police tactics played a role in the distrust.
Today, we would ask you, and then we would tell you, and then we would make you. But in those days, it was like we arrived and we told you. And people resented that, and I can understand why.
It's against this backdrop that the San Diego Black Panther Party was formed.
I was immediately attracted to it because it allowed me an opportunity to help the Black community.
He says police brutality was not the sole reason for opening a local chapter.
We were also suffering from a lot of social, economic, and political inequalities.
Price says the local Black Panthers provided meals for the elderly, opened health clinics, and served food to the homeless. And they started a breakfast program for children.
They had a blueprint for success for Black people, which I thought was a positive thing. But that's not how they interacted with the police.
Bennett says Panther rhetoric made the party the poster child for militancy.
And they'd stand around in their Black Panther berets with their rifles. They drew cartoons of policemen being pigs and being shot by a Black person. I was threatened by that.
In July 1969, there was a riot at Mountain View Park. Panther Party Chairman Henry Wallace blames police for the chaos.
And they knew that most of the Black people in Southeast San Diego would go to that park on Sundays. And they used that to set off a riot. They started that themselves. They came in there like National Guards and stuff and started firing tear gas at people and God knows what else.
Retired criminal defense lawyer Richard Savitz represented local Panthers in court.
The police would arrest them for resisting arrest or disturbing the peace or something as a punishment for being Black Panthers. There was just no understanding between the police and the Black Panthers.
But retired officer Terry Morse believes he connected with the Panther during a house raid where he says 4 group members were living with a white prostitute. He recalls telling the Panther he believed others were trying to start a racial war. Here's what he says he told the man.
I don't want to hurt you, and I don't want you to hurt me. I reminded him that in the time he had known me, he'd never seen me hit anybody other than social backtalk between Panthers and us.
Another memory he can't shake is the feeling he got early one Sunday morning as he was closing out his graveyard shift. He was driving down Imperial Avenue from 32nd Street to 25th back to the station.
The first thing I noticed was the smell of barbecues being started. Because I had the windows down, I noticed the sound of choirs warming up. And it was just a real good feeling.
That feeling wasn't shared by everyone. A series of FBI and police raids ultimately weakened the party. That was then. This is now. The San Diego Black Panther Party is reuniting. Amita Sharma, KPBS News.